and welcome to your full body stretch and strengthen workout. So we're going to be starting standing, nice and tall with the body with the rib cage down, core nice and strong, and I want you to take a nice big wide step to your right hand side. Turn your right toe out, the foot is now pointing straight ahead of you, and elongate the arms so they're in line with your shoulders. With a nice soft bend in the knees, we're going to bring that weight over that right leg, opening up across the inner thigh here, but keeping the hips and chest facing directly forward. Lengthen through the arms, keep the shoulders down and away from the ears. And from here, if it's comfortable for you to do so, bring that right hand down onto that right ankle, keeping that chest nice and wide, and take a gaze up towards that left hand. You've got a nice soft bend still in the knees. Breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. Gently pushing through the heel to bring yourself back up to standing, and turn it to that nice tall stance here. And then we're going to bring your right foot round, do exactly the same on the opposite side, turning that left foot out, widening through the arms, through the chest here, lunging onto that left leg. Nice soft bend in the back leg still, and again that left hand is going to come down. Keeping that chest nice and wide, nice and open. Eyes gaze up towards that right hand, wide across the chest. Breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. And again, drive through that left heel. Bring yourself back up nice and tall. We're going to bring the foot back round again. We're going to come into a sumo squat here. So your toes are turned out ever so slightly. So we're opening up on the hips. If this isn't comfortable for you, do come back into a traditional squat with your feet just ever so slightly wider than your hips. We're going to keep your tailbone tucked under with your rib cage down, core engaged. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose, breaking at the knee and the hip, and we're going to push those knees out nice and wide. Exhale, drive through your heels to lift up. We're going to stop at the top with a nice soft bend in your knees. Inhale to come down, open across the inner thighs. Exhale to lift. Inhale down, lifting through the pelvic floor, scooping in the belly button here. Pushing those knees out wide and up. Inhale to descend down, exhale up. Nice and tall, nice and proud with the chest. Inhale and exhale. Good. 5 more of these. Working at a depth that feels comfortable for you. 4, 3, 2 more here. And then I want you to hold into a nice low sumo squat. So in this stance here, bring those hands up so the elbows are bent, fingertips just to the ears. We're going to inhale to crunch down, exhale to come up. So nice and tall with the body still. Rib cage and your hips stay facing directly forward. We've got 10 bends in total. Inhale and exhale, working at a range that feels comfortable for you. Staying in this low squat if it's comfortable for you. Inhale as we drop down, exhale to lift up, draw that belly button in. 4 more here. 3, 2, last one. Bring yourself up nice and tall here. Have a little bit of a shake out of the legs. We're going to come in a little bit narrower into your squat position now. So your feet are just a little bit wider than your hips. Toes are still turned out, but not so much as we did in our sumo squat. This time as you break down into your squat, your knees are going to follow the direction of your toes. The arms come out in line with your shoulders. We exhale to drive up. Rib cages down, shoulders down and away from the ears. Nice soft bend in the knees at the top. Lovely. Good, you're working at a range that feels comfortable for you. Make sure those knees press out. We've got 4, 3, last 2 here. And we're going to make our way down onto the mat next. So we're going to start in your squat position, and it's up to you which variation you go with next. We're going to break at the hips, hitting ourselves down into our squat. Hands are going to come down towards the floor. You're going to bring yourself down onto all 4s here, so your knees tap down to the floor, but your toes remain tucked under. Then push through those hands, pushing the hips back and returning back up to standing. Now, if you're not pregnant, you can walk yourself out into a full plank. So breaking at the knee and the hip, sitting that bottom down back, Gently walking those hands out, stabilising through the hips, into that plank, and again bending the knees, pushing the hips back to come back up to standing. So either into a plank or onto all fours. We've got 5 of these in total. Take your time with them, keep that rib cage down, core engaged. Exhale to push yourself back up. Nice and tall again with the body, proud with the chest. Good. That's 2. We've got 3 more. Remember that squat's nice and important here. Core is engaged. 2 more to go. Breaking down into that squat. Walking those hands down. Mindful of that breathing. Your last one here. And I want you to finish onto all fours. Knees down onto the floor. Toes flatten those now so your foot's flat against the floor. We're going to come into our cat-cow. So mobilising the spine here. We're going to be lifting the head up, arching the back. Working at a range that feels comfortable. As you exhale through the mouth, we're going to tuck the head under. Draw the belly button in. So very gentle lift from the back here. And again, inhale to lift. So work with your breath. Mobilise the spine. Being mindful of bump if you are pregnant, not to overarch the back, and to make sure there's no pulling or internal pressure on the abdominals. Lovely. We're going to do 1 more to complete this. So inhale to lift. And exhale. Lovely. Take those knees out a little bit wider than your hips. Toes together, sit your bottom down onto your heels. Walk your fingertips forward here to get a nice big stretch from the back. Being mindful of bump again if you are pregnant. If it's more comfortable for you, you can lift the bottom away from the heels. We're going to be getting a nice stretch through the back here. And once you've had a little bit of a breather, walk those hands back up onto all fours. Just ensure those wrists are in line with your shoulders, your knees in line with your hips. We're going to come into our bird dog. So we're going to be lifting opposite arm to opposite leg. Just in a nice straight line with the body, making sure the hips stay square down towards the floor. Belly button is pulled in, rib cage is down. Alternating sides, so be very careful as you lift and extend. There's no arching in the back, no rocking from the pelvis. It's lengthening through the body here. Measuring the arm and the leg nice and long. Nice and smooth transition from one side to the next. Balancing slightly as you reach that higher part of the movement. Core is engaged the whole time. We've got 1 more on each side, just to make sure that back is nice and warm. We're warming up the glutes. Fabulous. Return back down onto the floor. Just again checking in with that position, knees in line with your hips, wrists in line with your shoulders here. We're going to be doing exactly the same movement now, but this time I want you to hold opposite arm to opposite leg. And what we're going to be doing is drawing the elbow in towards the knee. Exhale as you do so, and then inhale to extend. We're doing 10 repetitions on each side. If that's not comfortable for you, just stick to alternating arms and legs. If not, with me, opposite arm, opposite leg, extend. Exhale, crunch the knee, crunch the elbow, but there's no further change in the rest of the body. 10 of these, good, that's 2. Extend, 3. And 4. Good, stabilising the hips. Taking a rest at any point if you need to, that's 5. 6. Lengthening, drawing that belly button in. Lovely, last 2 here. And the very last one on this side. Popping the arm and the leg back down again. Exactly the same opposite side, so it's up to you. Just alternating bird dog if this isn't comfortable. 10. Drawing the knee, drawing the elbow in. Make sure there's no arch in the back, you're drawing the belly button, rib cage is down. Stabilising the hips. 3. And 4, good. Take your time with the movement. 5, exhale. Inhale, extend. 6. And 7. 8. 2 more. And the very last one. Bring the arm and the leg back down, back into child's pose, just for a quick little breather here again. Bottom on to your heels, walk those fingertips away. That nice stretch in your back. And we're going to be returning back up onto all fours. Wrists in line with your shoulders, knees in line with your hips. And this time we're going to come into a fire hydrant, where we're going to keep the knee bent, but we're going to travel it out to the side of the body. So the knee is going to come out to the side, but we keep the hips square down towards the floor, so making sure there's no rocking or rotation. If it's comfortable for you, at the same time, we're going to be lifting opposite arm to opposite leg in this 90-degree bend. So we come out to the side, and then back into the centre. We've got 10 reps on each side. If it's not comfortable for you to move the arm, just stick with the lower body movement. Into that position here. Nice neutral spine. Lock that core in, draw the belly button in. Bending at your right arm, and we're going to lift that left leg. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. 10 lifts. Nice and slow and controlled, even as you lower the arm and the leg. 4, working into the backs of the shoulders. 5, 6, 7, good. 8, 2 more. 9, and 10. Lower the leg, lower the arm. Exactly the same on the opposite side. We've got your left arm, right leg, 90-degree bend for each. 10 lifts. Good. 3, 4, stay strong in that core. 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more. 9, and 10. We're going to take another little rest there. In child's pose, if that's most comfortable for you, or feel free to grab yourself some water. So we're going to be doing another bird dog variation here, and then we're going to take some weight off of the wrists. So for your bird dog variation, wrists in line with the shoulders, knees in line with your hips. We're going to extend the opposite arm to opposite leg, but this time what I want you to do is pull the arm down into the side of the body. Squeezing in with your shoulder blades and then extending. This leg is going to stay nice and straight, okay? So I'll demonstrate it with my left hand so you can see the pull. Extend your right leg back in line with the body, so you're squeezing the glutes here to keep this held nice and strong. Core is engaged. Left arm extends, you're going to pull the elbow into the side and then extend. 10 of these. Working into the lats and the side of the body. Create that tension through the arms, so don't rush it. 3, strong through the core. 4, exhale as you pull down. 5, and 6, 7, keep that glute working. 8, 9, and 10. Swapping the arms, swapping the leg over. Extend the left leg, extend your right arm, and we've got 10 pulls on the arm. Squeeze that elbow into the side of the body. 2, 3, really lengthen. 4, 5, good. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's lower those arms and legs down and come to a quick stretch here. So I want you to shift your bottom back slightly. I want you to thread your right arm through the left. Place that shoulder down on the floor. You get a slight rotation here, so do pull back a little bit if it's uncomfortable for you. But just use this to get a stretch through the shoulder, through the upper back. And when you're ready in your own time, swap that over. Pass the left hand through the right. The shoulder comes down against the floor. Stretching through the back. And then return it back up onto the body. We're going to take a little bit of rest away from all fours now. We're going to come into a kneeling squat. We are eventually coming back down onto all fours to work a little bit more into your glutes, but for now, relax the wrists off here. We want your knees out a little bit wide from your hips. Your toes can be a little bit closer together as the bottom sits back onto our heels. So think of the position of your child's pose. We're going to tuck the tailbone under slightly to lock the rib cage down. So you've got this nice neutral alignment from the head down to the tailbone. We're going to be pushing the hips forward, squeezing with your glutes, but I don't want you to overextend, okay? Just tucking slightly and then sitting back. Pelvis stays in a nice neutral position, rib cage stacked directly over. Exhale to push forward, inhale to lower. Squeeze those glutes. 3 and 4. Nice. 5. 6. Good, we've got 4 more. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Lovely, so that bottom down and back. From here, we're going to come back down onto all fours. Now, if your wrists are feeling a little bit uncomfortable, you can do a variation where we come down onto the elbows, but it's really important that elbow is in line with your shoulder and you're maintaining a nice neutral alignment through your back. So we hold the wrists in line with your shoulders if you're not coming down onto the elbow. And what I want you to do is extend your left leg back nice and straight. And we're going to just come into 10 single leg lifts on each side. So nice and basic lift and then lower. Lengthening through the leg and just making sure again that leg doesn't lift any higher than the body. That's 3, 4, 5, 6. Good, 4 more then we're going to swap over. 3, core is still nice and strong. 2, and 1. Bring that knee in, extend your right, exactly the same opposite side. Lengthen through the leg lift, squeeze that glute. Keep those hips parallel down to the floor. 4. Good. 6, 7, 8. So you've got 2 more here. And 10. Lovely. Relax the leg back down. And we're going to be coming back onto that left hand side. We're going to be doing our movements all on the left leg before going over to your right. So we're going to start with that nice straight leg again, and just coming into 10 leg lifts, just like we've just done. Lengthening through the leg, keeping that core strong. Good. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. This time what I want you to do is lift directly up, and then we're going to cross the leg over the opposite leg, so it's now coming to the right hand side of the body. We're then going to return it back in line with the hips and lower. So we lift, cross, cross back over and lower. 10 times through. Lift, cross, lift and lower. Hips are nice and square again, core is engaged, so almost making kind of like a triangle with the leg. Squeezing the glute, lengthening the leg. 4, nice big cross. Making sure there's no further change in the body. 5, 6, 7, good, and 8. We've got 2 more, and then we've got 1 more exercise on this side before we do exactly the same on the opposite side. Lovely. So what I want you to do is keep that leg crossed over now. We're going to kick directly up from that crossover. So the left leg is now over towards the right hand side. We've got 10 kicks going across. 1, 2, So just out to the left-hand side of the body. 3, keep that leg high. 4, 5, core is still nice and strong. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Bring that leg forward for me. We're going to come into a little bit of a glute stretch here. Bending the knee at the front of the body. That heel should be a little bit closer to the hips. Hips nice and square here. Sink that bottom down. Sit nice and tall to come into a little bit of a stretch here. Hands in the front of your body just to support yourself. That back leg is nice and straight. Breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. If it's comfortable for you, you can fold the body forward. Obviously be very mindful if you've got a bump in front of you. And gently ease out of that stretch, back up onto all fours. And we're doing exactly the same on the opposite leg. So you've got that nice straight leg lift first, then your crossover, so your triangles, and then that direct crossover from right to left. So wrists in line with your shoulders, knees in line with your hip. Slide that right leg back nice and straight, lift, squeeze the glutes and lower. 2, 3, 4, core is strong throughout. 5, rib cage is down, core is engaged. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we're lifting that leg, crossing it over, kicking straight back up and lowering 10 times through. We lift, cross, lift and lower. 2. Nice and long with that leg. 3, 4, strong through the core. Working at a range that feels comfortable for you. Lift, good. 6, nearly there. 7, 8, we've got 2 more. 9, and at 10, keep that leg crossed over. We're kicking all the way over to the right now for 10. 2, hips are stable. 3, core is strong. 4, really squeeze the glutes. 5, 6, 7, nearly there. 8, 9, and 10. Bring that leg through. Coming into that pigeon stretch again for your glutes. Bending the knee, heel towards the hip. Hips nice and square, use those hands to support you here. Body nice and tall, or of course you can fold it forward, not if you've got a bump. Good, inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Lovely. Last few breaths here, and then we're going to come onto the side of the body. Gently lean yourself back. We're going to start with a nice straight line for our body. So we're going to be doing everything on one side and then moving over to the opposite. So support the head either with a bend in the elbow or by straightening up the arm. Hips are stacked directly on top of each other, so just avoid any rocking or rotation anywhere. You can put your hand in front of your body to keep yourself a little bit more supported. We're going to start with a nice and basic leg lift here. We lift, and then we nice and slowly controlled lower. There's no change in your pelvis here, there's no rocking or rotation, and that core is still nice and strong. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and 10. Lower the leg down. This time we're going to be lifting up and forward, and that's going to be 1 repetition. Now you don't need to take the leg too far ahead of the body. It's only a very small movement. If it's not comfortable, you can't control through your core, just stick with your single leg lifts straight up in the air. 10 of these in total, so we lift up, center, forward. That's 1. Lift, and 2. Lift, and 3. Good. The hips are still stacked. And 4, 5, 6. Really lengthen through the leg. 7, 8, 9, and 10. This time we're traveling back, so we're going to go up and behind the body. And make sure that it's only a very small movement, that you don't rock back like I've just done. So we lift, down, back. So a very, very small split in the legs here, back into the centre. Lift, lower, 1. Lift, lower, 2. Lift, 3. Lift, 4. Core strong. 5, good. 5 more here. 6. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Bring that leg in front of the body here. Just a nice little bend here. Make sure you keep those hips stacked. If it's comfortable for you, you can open wide across the chest. If you are pregnant, do keep that arm in slightly to avoid any strain across those abdominals. Take a few moments here just to take a quick rest. And then we're going to be popping ourselves up onto the elbow. Again, all on this same side. We're going to be repeating the opposite side in a moment. So let's bring ourselves up. Knees are going to be bent this time, and our elbow is going to be in line with the shoulder. We're going to come into a clam, so we want the inside of the feet together as we lift open, but we make sure the hips don't rock back. Let's keep those hips evenly stacked. We have 10 lifts. Inside of the feet stay together, working at a range that feels comfortable for 1, 2, 3, we're still nice and strong through the core here. 4, 5, and again, it doesn't need to be a big movement, just nice and controlled. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now keep your bottom leg bent. Extend your top leg and bring your arm up overhead. We're going to be crunching the knee in towards the elbow, but again keeping those hips stacked directly forward, making sure there's no rotation. So we extend, body is nice and proud, 10 crunches. Lengthen the arm, lengthen the leg, 2. Exhale as you do so, 3. Now you should still feel nice and strong with the core. If you don't, then just come back into that clam. 5. Good, and 6, we don't let the leg completely relax down, lengthen, 7, good, 8, 9, and 10. Bring those knees down, but now bring them in line with the rest of the body. So we're going to come into a side plank to finish this side before popping it over to the opposite. So you should have a nice straight line from the head to the shoulder, down the body, down in front of the hips, down to the shoulders. I want you to lift those hips up. Nice straight line. We're just going to be holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and gently lower down. Swap your sides over. Exactly the same opposite side, not straight line through the body. Lengthen the legs, stack the hips, support the head, and we're starting just 10 straight leg lifts. 2, 3, 4, 5, good, 6, 8, 2 more here. And again, we're going to be lifting that leg and then taking it to the front of the body. Only a range that feels comfortable for you. If it doesn't feel comfortable, just stick with 10 normal leg lifts again. So we lift, lower, take it to the front. We lift, we lower, we take it to the front. 2. Lift. 3. Good, hips are still stacked. 4, lengthening through the leg. 5. Good. 6. 7. 8. 2 more, and then it's going to be a leg lift up and then behind the body. Last one here. Perfect. So this time we're going to lift straight up, lower, and then take it behind the body, making sure that you're still able to keep control of the core. So we lift, lower, take it behind for 1. Good. Hips are still stacked. 2. Good. Nice and strong through that core. 3. 4. 5. Core is nice and strong. We've got 6. 7, nearly there. Good. 8. 9, last one. And 10. Bending those knees. Bringing the heels in line with your bottom, but the knees are slightly further ahead of the body. Elbow in line with your shoulder. We're coming into your 10 clams. Inside of the feet together. We open up the hip. Keep the hips stacked for 1, 2, 3, 4, good, 5, 6, 7, strong here through the obliques still, 8, 9, and then lower that leg, lengthen it through, lift the opposite arm up overhead, and we're crunching again, hips stay facing directly forward, 10 crunches, strong through the core. If it's not comfortable, just your normal clam again. Exhale to crunch in. Good. 1. Exhale. Inhale, extend. 2, 3. Good. 4. Keep those hips stacked. 5, 6, 7. Really lengthen. 8. We've got 2 more. 9 and 10. Bring those knees together, but in line with the hips, the heels are now behind the body. Nice straight line again. We're going to be holding that side plank in 3, 2, and 1. 10 seconds. That elbow is in line with your shoulders, hips are stacked. Holding for a further 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently lower yourself back down onto the mat. We're going to come round onto all fours and bring ourselves up onto the knees. We're going to come into a hip flexor stretch here. So step 1 foot directly through, and we're going to tuck your tailbone under here. We're going to be pushing those hips forward to come into a very gentle stretch through the fronts of your thighs and your hip flexors. So try not to overexert this stretch. Nice and tall, nice and proud with the body. Breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth, just to relax. And we're going to gently push those hips back, do exactly the same on the opposite side. Step the foot forward, tuck the tailbone under, push those hips forward. We've got a couple of exercises left here, okay? So just enjoy this stretch, just to take a little bit of a breather. And we're going to be finishing by working into your chest. So we're going to be coming into some push-ups. On the knees or in a full plank if it's comfortable for you. Obviously, if you are pregnant or early postpartum, you're down on the knees. We're going to be coming into a nice and narrow push-up to work the triceps at the back of the arm, as well as the chest. So our wrists are going to be in line with our shoulders. As we descend the body down, the elbows come in nice and close to the chest, and then we push ourselves back up again. You can alternatively do this up against a wall. So the hands come down, we bring the chest just over the wrists here. Lock the core in, draw the belly button in. We're going to lower the chest down towards the floor. Exhale to drive up. We have 10 of these. Inhale and exhale. They can make it a little bit easier by bringing those knees in a little bit closer. Or if you want to make it harder, just step them back. 4. Good. 5. That core is nice and strong. For 6. 7. Good. Elbows skim the body for 8. 2 more. 9. Very last one. And 10. Push back into child's pose. Taking your knees out a little bit wider than your hips. Sit your bottom onto the heels. Walk the hands forward. Take a nice little breather here. And we're going to be finishing with a thread the needle. So we are going to be returning back up onto all fours. Wrists in line with your shoulders, knees in line with your hips. Take your right hand through the left. It's like we did that holding stretch, but this time we're going to stay a little bit more mobile. Our eyes are going to follow the direction of the fingertips as you open wide across the chest. If you're pregnant, just be careful of your range. And then thread that arm back through. Good, we've got 5 of these on each side, opening wide across the chest. And as the arm passes back through, that's when we're stretching through the back, through the shoulder. 3. 4, and 5. Exactly the same opposite side. Put that left hand through, open wide. 1, and 2. You're working at a range that feels comfortable for you. 3, 4, and your very last one, and 5. Bring yourself down onto that into a seated position. Relax the shoulders down here, give yourself a nice big shoulder roll back, a shoulder roll forward. Slowing that breathing down as you relax the shoulders. Drop the ear over towards one side, keep those shoulders down and relaxed. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. And do exactly the same on the opposite side. Drop the ear over, keep that shoulder down, body nice and tall. Bring your head back into the centre. Give yourself a good shimmy and a shake. I hope you enjoyed that stretch and that strengthening workout.